Hi, welcome to the quiz. You can answer along on quizalto.com, all for free. The exact URL of this quiz will be in the notes down below. Let's get started, good luck. What is the role of an event type in Amazon Fraud Detector? To define the structure of events to be evaluated for fraud. To specify data storage locations. To manage user access. To encrypt data. An event type in Amazon Fraud Detector defines the structure of events that need to be evaluated for fraud detection. What is the main purpose of a rule in Amazon Fraud Detector? To manage user roles. To store event data. To encrypt data in transit. To define specific conditions for identifying fraud. The main purpose of a rule in Amazon Fraud Detector is to define specific conditions under which an event should be flagged as potentially fraudulent. What is the importance of real-time fraud detection? It speeds up audio transcription. It reduces the cost of data storage. It enhances image processing capabilities. It allows immediate action against fraudulent activities. Real-time fraud detection is crucial as it allows immediate action to be taken against fraudulent activities, minimizing potential losses. Why is model evaluation important in Amazon Fraud Detector? To simplify the user interface. To manage network traffic. To reduce storage costs. To ensure models accurately identify fraudulent activities. Model evaluation is important in Amazon Fraud Detector to ensure that models accurately identify fraudulent activities and minimize false positives and negatives. What is a prediction in Amazon Fraud Detector? The assessed risk level of an event. The network bandwidth used. The type of encryption used. The storage location of data. A prediction in Amazon Fraud Detector refers to the assessed risk level of an event, indicating the likelihood of fraud. What is the primary function of the Amazon Fraud Detector console? To encrypt sensitive data. To manage and monitor fraud detection activities. To store large files. To design user interfaces. The primary function of the Amazon Fraud Detector console is to manage and monitor fraud detection activities, providing a user-friendly interface for configuring and reviewing detections. What is a feature transformation in Amazon Fraud Detector? A process to compress data. A technique to encrypt data. A method to process raw event data into meaningful features. A way to manage user permissions. Feature transformation in Amazon Fraud Detector involves processing raw event data into meaningful features for model training and evaluation. How can Amazon Fraud Detector be integrated into a business workflow? By setting up physical servers. By using hardware tokens. By manual data entry. Through its API and SDKs. Amazon Fraud Detector can be integrated into a business workflow through its API and SDKs, allowing seamless incorporation into existing systems. What is the purpose of Amazon Fraud Detector's model monitoring? To track the performance and accuracy of models over time. To encrypt data transmissions. To compress data files. To manage user permissions. The purpose of model monitoring in Amazon Fraud Detector is to track the performance and accuracy of fraud detection models over time. What kind of events can Amazon Fraud Detector analyze? Audio recordings, online transactions, genomic data, video streaming. Amazon Fraud Detector can analyze online transactions and other related events to detect potential fraud. What does the term false positive refer to in Amazon Fraud Detector? A legitimate transaction, an encrypted data field, an event incorrectly flagged as fraudulent, a missing data point. A false positive in Amazon Fraud Detector refers to an event that is incorrectly flagged as fraudulent when it is actually legitimate. How can Amazon Fraud Detector models be tested before deployment? By manually reviewing each event. By increasing storage capacity. By using a separate test dataset. By encrypting the data. Amazon Fraud Detector models can be tested before deployment using a separate test dataset to ensure their accuracy and effectiveness. What is the benefit of using historical data in Amazon Fraud Detector? Speeds up data processing. Reduces storage costs. Improves the accuracy of fraud detection models. Enhances data encryption. Using historical data in Amazon Fraud Detector improves the accuracy of fraud detection models by providing more data to learn from. What is the purpose of model evaluation in Amazon Fraud Detector? To compress event data. To assess the performance of fraud detection models. To manage network traffic. To increase data storage. Model evaluation in Amazon Fraud Detector is conducted to assess the performance and accuracy of fraud detection models. What is the typical output of an Amazon Fraud Detector evaluation? A fraud score. A compressed data file. A video stream. An encrypted message. The typical output of an Amazon Fraud Detector evaluation is a fraud score indicating the likelihood of fraud. What is a detector version in Amazon Fraud Detector? A specific configuration of a detector including rules and models. A data schema format. A backup of the detector data. A historical log of fraud events. A detector version is a specific configuration of a detector, including the rules and models used to evaluate events. What is the role of Amazon Fraud Detector in e-commerce? To handle customer support. To manage product inventory. To prevent fraudulent transactions. To optimize website performance. In e-commerce, Amazon Fraud Detector helps prevent fraudulent transactions by evaluating the risk of each transaction. What is Amazon Fraud Detector used for? To detect online payment fraud. To encrypt sensitive data. To monitor network traffic. To optimize database queries. Amazon Fraud Detector is a fully managed service that makes it easy to identify potentially fraudulent online activities such as payment fraud. How does Amazon Fraud Detector use labels? To compress data files. To tag events with outcomes such as fraudulent or legitimate. To encrypt sensitive information. To manage user access. Amazon Fraud Detector uses labels to tag events with outcomes such as fraudulent or legitimate, helping in training and evaluating models. What is the purpose of Amazon Fraud Detector's risk threshold setting? To encrypt data at rest. To limit the size of data files. To determine the cutoff for flagging events as potentially fraudulent. To manage user session times. The purpose of the risk threshold setting in Amazon Fraud Detector is to determine the cutoff point for flagging events as potentially fraudulent. Why is it important to use diverse datasets in Amazon Fraud Detector? To improve model robustness and accuracy. To increase storage space. To enhance data privacy. To reduce computational costs. Using diverse datasets in Amazon Fraud Detector is important to improve the robustness and accuracy of fraud detection models by capturing a wide range of potential fraud scenarios. Which machine learning framework does Amazon Fraud Detector leverage? Amazon SageMaker, TensorFlow, Keras, PyTorch. Amazon Fraud Detector leverages Amazon SageMaker for its machine learning models to detect fraudulent activities. What is the significance of model versioning in Amazon Fraud Detector? To compress event data. To store large datasets. To track changes and improvements in fraud detection models. To manage user access. Model versioning in Amazon Fraud Detector is important for tracking changes and improvements in fraud detection models over time. Which AWS service does Amazon Fraud Detector integrate with for data storage? Amazon S3, Amazon RDS, AWS Glue, Amazon Redshift. Amazon Fraud Detector integrates with Amazon S3 for data storage, allowing users to store and retrieve data easily. What type of models can you create with Amazon Fraud Detector? Custom fraud detection models, image recognition models, natural language processing models, speech synthesis models. Amazon Fraud Detector allows users to create custom fraud detection models tailored to their specific needs. And that's a wrap. Thanks to everyone who participated. Remember, you can answer along on quizalto.com, where you can keep track of your progress and find much more quizzes. We hope you had a fun and challenging time. Until next time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more. Hit the bell icon to be notified as soon as we upload. Please leave a comment if you have any thoughts or suggestions, and, if you think this video is worth sharing with someone who could benefit from it, please forward a link to them. See you next time. Thanks for watching.